was once a day that I would pray for you. I'd go and misbehave just so you'd notice too. Sneaking looks up and down from across the room. And damn, what a hell of a view.
Hey guys, it's Himani. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to a travel vlog. It's the Labor Day long weekend here in the US. We have 4 days in hand and we thought to make the most of these holidays by visiting a new state in the US. So we are going to New Mexico. We're in Boston right now and waiting for our Uber to go to the airport.
So catch me if I fall.
So we are at the airport right now. Our boarding will start at 5:30. It's 4:30 right now, so we still have 1 hour in hand. We are traveling very light on this trip. We are carrying just 2 backpacks and 2 carry-ons. So we didn't have to check in our bags. And since we have 1 hour and we're feeling quite hungry, Ah-She is ordering pizza right now.
I feel good, you look great, I like you.
Guys, if you ever happen to be at the Boston airport, you have to have this pesto pizza from Wolfgang Puck right after the security check. It's amazing.
Don't waste time to my place, I feel
We soon reached Dallas airport, from where we had to take a connecting flight. And the flight got delayed by almost an hour. So from Boston, it took us a total of almost 7 hours to reach Albuquerque in New Mexico. Hey guys, we finally reached Albuquerque. It was a very long flight. Our connecting flight from Dallas got delayed and it's already 12 midnight. We're exhausted and tomorrow we have to get up early morning because we have things planned. So yeah, right now we're just gonna go to our hotel and sleep. Good morning guys and hello from New Mexico. It's our day 1 here. We woke up pretty early in the morning, had breakfast at around 7. It's 7:30 in the morning right now and we have come to rent a car. We had already booked the car in advance, so once we get the car, our road trip in New Mexico begins. And this is our beast for the next 4 days. So we got the car and our first stop today is going to be Bandelier National Park. Now when we talk of Bandelier National Park, it's a deserted area and we won't be able to find any food for miles. So we just made a stop at Subway and got some sandwiches packed because it's always good to be prepared. And now we're all set for our road trip, finally. We drove for around 1 hour 30 minutes and reached the White Rock Visitor Center in Los Alamos, the closest city to the Bandelier National Monument. Bandelier implements a mandatory shuttle from this area if you arrive between 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. during the summer and fall months due to limited parking. Since we had planned to visit the national park before lunchtime, we had to park our car in the visitor center and take a shuttle that runs every 30 minutes. An important thing to keep in mind is to carry a sunscreen spray, hat and water with you because with hot temperatures, high elevation and limited shade, you really need to protect yourself and stay hydrated. The shuttle ride offered some beautiful views and in just 20 minutes, we reached our first destination, the Bandelier National Monument. Home to one of the largest cliff dwellings in North America, Bandelier National Monument offers plenty to keep visitors occupied. On arriving at the visitor center, a guide briefed us a little about the place. There's a $25 fee to enter the park, which also includes this cute little museum that demonstrates the architecture and lifestyle of the ancestral Pueblo people who lived here in the Frijoles Canyon from 1150 CE to 1550 CE. Got to know a little about the history of the place. And now it was time to hike the trails and see it in reality. The park has over 70 miles of trails to explore, and we decided to go for the most popular one, the Pueblo Loop Trail, also called the Main Loop Trail. It's a 1.4-mile loop that takes you through various archaeological sites along some paved and pebbled paths. This trail guide that we rented at the visitor center helped us understand various stops along the Pueblo Trail. The geological formations here are incredible, and after walking along the paved section for some time, we came across a set of stairs to climb, which led to the beautiful caveways the small human-carved alcoves within the tuff. And to peer or step inside one, you have to climb these ladders. This was so much fun. It was amazing to walk by these cliffside dwellings and incredible canyon walls, all while discovering small alcoves and stunning views of the canyon. With rich geological diversity, fascinating cultural history, and striking scenery, this desert wonderland is a must-do if you ever plan to visit New Mexico. We spent around 2 hours here, took a shuttle back to the White Rock Visitor Center where our car was parked, and ate our sandwiches. I had also quickly changed my clothes, and we now left for the next place on our list, Taos. The roads here are an absolute treat to travel along. Making our way through the lovely landscapes, we reached Taos after driving for about 1.5 hours. And our first stop here was Taos Pueblo. Nestled in the north center of New Mexico and backed by the breathtaking Sangre de Cristo mountain range, Taos Pueblo is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of the New Mexico's standout tourist attractions. This Native American site has been continuously inhabited for over 1,000 years, making it one of the oldest communities in the US. And I was literally so fascinated by these beautiful adobe buildings everywhere. It's a mix of sand, clay, and straw, typically used in northern New Mexico. To learn more about this National Historic Landmark, we took a guided walking tour, which really offered an invaluable insight into Pueblo Indian life. Got to see the beautiful San Jeronimo Church, which was built in 1850, the remains of an old church and cemetery, and walked the alleys through these adobe structures. Most of these multi-storied buildings are believed to have been built over 5 centuries ago, and around 150 or so people still live in them, protecting and preserving their age-old traditions for future generations. They are still living here without electricity, running water, or indoor plumbing as their ancestors have for centuries. And this water body, called the Red Willow Creek, running through the central open area, is the direct and sole source of water for the community. Also, this is the home of a very private group of people. There are certain restricted areas indicated by signs, so be sure to be respectful and follow the rules. Many residents have shops and restaurants in their homes, and it was lovely checking out their locally produced art and crafts. This surely was an amazing experience, and we now left for another beautiful spot in Taos, the Taos Plaza. Just 10 minutes drive away from Taos Pueblo, Taos Plaza is the historic heart of the town. Lined by lots of beautiful old adobe buildings and booming businesses, this place has a lovely, lively, yet laid-back feel to it. We started strolling from the plaza through the Taos Historic District and came across a lot of picturesque shops, boutiques, and art galleries. The Kit Carson Road here is home to the Kit Carson House and Museum, a structure built in 1825 and named after the famous frontiersman Kit Carson, which now houses a lot of age-old artifacts and period pieces. Another famous street here is the Bend Street, considered to be the heart of the historic district. And linking it with the plaza are the John Dunn shops. A beautiful pedestrian walkway full of various independently and locally owned shops and eateries. We made a quick stop at this cute little cafe to relax a bit, and the smoothies here are amazing. Well, the smoothie filled our tummies for a bit, and we walked a little more to explore the local shops around the plaza and do some souvenir shopping. And these are the red chili ristras. The strung pods of dried chilies used as a decoration near arches, doors, and windows all over New Mexico, serving as a symbol of welcome, good luck, and also used as the star ingredient in many New Mexican dishes. It was now time to grab some lunch at one of the many restaurants and cafes that surround the plaza. Doc Martin's restaurant had really good reviews online, and we couldn't wait to try some classic blue corn enchiladas. This was a really well-spent afternoon, and we now left to see one of the country's top 10 highest and most enchanting steel bridges, the Rio Grande Bridge. Northwest of Taos lies the 900-foot-deep Rio Grande Gorge, and along US Route 64, the gorge is spanned by this boldly engineered bridge that towers impossibly high above the river far below. Since we were coming from Taos, we drove across the bridge to the rest stop on the other side to get some good views. The gorge looked very deep at the point the bridge crosses. And while driving across it seems quite normal, walking across it feels like an extreme adventure, at least to somebody like me who's afraid of heights. There's a suicide prevention hotline sign here, which was kind of scary. And while obviously there's railing, it still feels very open and the bridge moves a fair bit every time cars drive over it. But if you can manage it, the view and the experience is unmatched. And we were lucky enough to spot that rainbow too. It was amazing to witness this engineering marvel, and after spending some time here, we left for our hotel in Albuquerque, enjoying the scenic drive through some stunning landscapes. And look at that sunset. Good morning guys, it's our second day in New Mexico. We got pretty exhausted yesterday and slept early. But we had an amazing day. We got to see some spectacular views and today we are well rested. We got up pretty late. It's 10 in the morning right now and we are all set to leave for Santa Fe, which is the capital city of New Mexico. And we are very excited for the day because we have some amazing things planned and we really hope that everything goes as per the plan. So yeah, we are done with the breakfast and all set to leave for Santa Fe. The capital city of Santa Fe is just an hour drive from Albuquerque, and the first thing we wanted to experience here was the famous Meow wolf. Meow wolf is an otherworldly, over-the-top immersive installation which is almost impossible to describe, and you'll see why. We had booked the 11:40 a.m. slot, and after some briefing, we soon found ourselves into the House of Eternal Return, a world filled with scenes and settings worthy of a sci-fi movie. The mysterious multiverse of Meow Wolf brilliantly blends interactive art installations with a fantastical funhouse.
So catch me if I fall.
There are hidden doorways, portals to other worlds, mysterious hallways, strange music, and fascinating artwork everywhere. And look how much fun Ah-She-Sle-Pah is having here.
Fast, sitting here praying that this night's gonna last. You got it all on tap. I'm loving your vibe, always have your back. We like all the same tracks. Listen all night in the sheets all black. Said I'm falling.
This was truly a very unusual experience, unlike anything we have ever seen. The showman! There's also the super cute gift shop and the float cafe and bar to relax a little bit. We spent around 2 hours at Meow Wolf and then left to explore some other things the gorgeous city of Santa Fe has to offer. Established in 1610, Santa Fe, the New Mexico capital, is the oldest capital city in the United States. And downtown Santa Fe, commonly known as the Santa Fe Plaza, is the beating heart of it. This is where all the major businesses, shops, galleries, hotels, churches, museums and restaurants are located. But since we were super hungry, we first headed straight to the famous Plaza Cafe. Santa Fe's oldest restaurant, the Plaza Cafe, dates back to 1905. and offers a large menu that includes a variety of New Mexican specialties. And we finally got to taste the famous New Mexican green chili and red chili sauces, which can be found on dishes all over the city. And these are sopapillas, the deep-fried pieces of dough that are served and eaten with honey. The lunch was amazing and we were now all set to explore the city. Downtown Santa Fe is extremely walkable with so many things to do. And we started with this Gothic revival church, the Loreto Chapel. Built in 1873, this chapel is famous for its miraculous stairs, which was built by a mystery carpenter. It is said that the carpenter disappeared after the job without taking the payment and is believed to be Saint Joseph, the patron saint of carpenters. Also, nobody knows the type of wood used or the method of construction. Well, whether or not you believe the story, spending $5 to see this grand architectural marvel was worth it. Walking further, at the end of San Francisco Street lies another famous church, the Cathedral Basilica of St. Francis of Assisi. And this is the one that we actually see on so many Santa Fe postcards. It was closed that day, so we couldn't go inside, but absolutely loved its Romanesque revival architecture. Just across the street is this very pretty colorful walkway that belongs to the Museum of Contemporary Native Arts. We didn't go inside, but clicked some beautiful pictures here. And here is the Palace of the Governors, the former 17th century seat of the Spanish government, which is now a National Historic Landmark. The different architecture styles around the plaza reflects its diverse history. Also, there are many beautiful shops lining the streets, and you can literally spend hours browsing and window shopping here. Santa Fe's nickname is the City Different, and once you're here, it immediately makes sense. It's so unlike any other city in the US that we often had to remind ourselves we haven't actually left the country. Finally, we drove through the Canyon Road, which is home to over 80 unique art galleries and a wide assortment of artisan jewelry stores and boutiques. And again left for Albuquerque. Within an hour, we reached Albuquerque and were very excited for our stay at this gorgeous heritage property, Hotel Andaluz. Only the fourth hotel ever built by Conrad Hilton, Hotel Andaluz has a stunning architecture and a rich history in downtown Albuquerque. We were also hosted by its restaurant, got to meet their chief executive chef, Mark Quinones, and were treated to some amazing drinks and Spanish delicacies. This was truly a night to remember. Welcome to our third morning in New Mexico. We started the day with a hot bubble bath and a nice hot breakfast at the same restaurant. Checked out from this amazing property, which was an experience in itself, and left for our next adventures. But again, had to get some food packed for lunch.
Good morning guys, it's our day 3 in New Mexico. We had this amazing breakfast at this amazing property that you just saw. We are all set for the day and the 2 places we have planned for today are literally in the middle of nowhere. So we have to get some food packed because we're not really sure if we'll be getting something for miles and miles there. We had actually found a very good vegetarian restaurant nearby, but when we went there it was closed due to the Labor Day weekend. So we are now here at the Taco Bell and getting food packed for lunch and for dinner as well. Today is going to be a little bit of adventure and we are really excited for that. Fingers crossed.
So all set with the food and now we are ready to hit the road again. And our destination today was Chaco Culture National Historical Park. There was a diversion from the main road and soon we found ourselves on a rough and completely deserted road. We couldn't see anybody for miles. And honestly, this kind of got us a little scared. It's not the easiest national park to visit because of its remoteness. We had to drive on these dirt roads for about 15 to 20 miles before we could see this huge structure at a distance. And this was our first stop, Pajada Butte. Probably the most famous natural feature of Chaco Canyon, Pajada Butte is considered to be a sacred place by the local tribes. And therefore, visitors are not allowed on or even near this isolated hill. It is also said to have a set of spiral petroglyphs known as the sun dagger that the ancient people used to track the solstices and lunar cycle. This makes this location very special in the park. And this is us applying layers and layers of sunscreen. Moving on, we reached the visitor center and were literally relieved to see so many cars. Welcome to the Chaco Culture National Historical Park.
So we finally reached the visitor center. We literally got so scared when we couldn't see even a single person for miles and miles around. And the moment we saw some cars and some people walking around, we were so relieved. We are very excited for exploring the sites, but it's very, very hot here. So you need to carry a lot of water with you, food, because there's nothing like for as far as we can see, there is not even a single food shop. So you need to carry water, food, sunscreen definitely, and a hat if you can. It's very important.
We bought our tickets, some travel guides for the sites, and visited this cute little museum, giving a detailed sneak peek of what to expect in the park. 1,000 years ago, the ancient Pueblans, known as the Anasazi, flourished and built huge communities in Chaco Canyon. These people are now referred to as Chacoans, and the park still has their crumbling remains consisting of several structures and dwellings. After learning a little bit about the history of this place, we were now ready to drive the 9-mile paved loop that covers some of the largest and best preserved great houses. And the first major stop was Hungopavi, an impressive great house that provides a glimpse of what these structures look like before excavations. The ruins contain an enclosed plaza, many rooms, and is likely to have been 3 stories tall and D-shaped. The best part was each site has an adjacent parking lot and there are just small walks. It's very, very hot here with no shade, so we made sure to carry a lot of water with us. We were also quite hungry by now, so had our lunch in the car before driving to the next stop. And our next stop was Chetro Kettle, the second largest great house. A half-mile trail guided us through the ruins. And these trail guides were really informative with numbered stops, letting us know more history and information about what we saw. It's estimated that it took 50 million sandstone slabs and 26,000 trees to erect this great house over some 500,000 man-hours. With about 400 rooms, the D-shaped structure is believed to have been used as a place for larger-scale ceremonies. There's a well-preserved great kiva believed to be used for various ceremonies, some elevated kivas, and several hundred feet of the intact perimeter wall. These Chacoan complexes are the largest buildings constructed in North America before the 19th century. And half the fun of learning about history is imagining life as it was. It took us about half an hour to tour this house, after which we took the petroglyph trail to one of the most important sites in this park, Pueblo Bonito.
So we are done seeing the second largest house of the Chacoan culture, and now we are heading towards seeing the largest house.
Early Spanish explorers named this massive great house Pueblo Bonito because it resembled a pretty village. It is the largest prehistoric Southwest Native American dwelling ever excavated, covering 3 acres, was 5 stories high and had about 800 rooms. The massive buildings of the ancestral Pueblo people still testify to the organizational and engineering abilities of that era. We were able to take our time strolling through the ruins of this grand structure on 0.6-mile walking trail. Driving further along this 9-mile canyon loop, the last major stop that we came across was Pueblo del Arroyo, the 4th largest great house in Chaco. It's the only one not constructed along the cliff face and the only one facing east instead of south. It was very hot here, there was no shade, just the fresh water and toilets are available at the visitor center, but apart from that, no gas, no electricity, no facilities are available in the park. Also, it was quite challenging to reach here. But where else can you explore a 1,000-year-old city in the USA, right?
Exploring all these sites were a lot of fun, but it was, as I said before, very, very hot. Now we are here at the visitor center again. We'll just freshen up a bit, use the restrooms, and then we'll head on to the next adventure of the day, which we are quite nervous about. It's called Ah-She-Sle-Pah, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. It's going to be a sunset and night tour, so we'll be hiking in the middle of nowhere, like literally at night.
We drove back to the main highway and parked our car at this gas station where we were supposed to meet our travel guide for the next attraction. Also changed, had some food, and in no time the weather got really bad. We almost thought that our next adventure is going to get cancelled. Until we met our guide Kylo, who has been tracking the rains and winds like a pro and was really determined to get us through it. We drove for some time waiting for the weather to get better. And just when we thought we'll have to cancel the trip, the rains finally stopped. The Ah-She-Sle-Pah Wilderness Study Area is located in the northwestern New Mexico, and the drive to this place was an adventure in itself. There was no proper road, just this thin muddy trail. And we could also spot some wild horses from a distance. Such a scenic view, isn't it? And after driving for I don't know how many miles, our travel guide finally stopped the car, literally in the middle of nowhere. And this was the starting point of Ah-She-Sle-Pah. So we made it here. It's very windy. The wind condition is very bad. Well, as you can see, the wind conditions got pretty bad and we had to layer up. And from here started our hike in the wilderness area. Ah-She-Sle-Pah, meaning grey salt, is a part of the famous Bisty Badlands. These are eroded badlands that offer some of the most unusual scenery. Erosion has edged a fantasy world of strange rock formations, and we were literally speechless when we saw it. I ruined my shoes with the sticky, muddy clay within 5 minutes of walking. But that was expected, I guess. We were also accompanied by a group of some amazing female photographers, and it was so cool to see them with all their photography gear.
So right now we are going to see a formation which is called the Alien Throne. It's quite popular here, but it's a bit of a hike, and we're carrying a lot of water bottles with us, food, and we're also wearing thermals, windbreakers. We're carrying rain jackets because you never know about the weather. But I'm really glad we made it here. Ashish seems to be having fun. Are you having fun, Mr. Photographer?
This place called the Valley of Dreams is a true wilderness area. Since there are no marked trails and it's easy to get lost while exploring, it's not advisable to come here without a professional local guide. Thank God we had Kylo, who knew every single bit of this place by heart. Soon we came across this rock which resembles a howling wolf. Such a stunning view. A landscape of sandstone-capped rocks and scenic olive-colored hills. These spectacular geological formations made us feel like we're on another planet. We now had to hike our way up through these rocks, which was a bit of a challenge, but so much fun at the same time.
Look at that. Woohoo!
Soon there were endless sandstone carvings all around us. And the view we got after this hike was literally out of this world.
This looks like another planet. I'm not bragging. I'm not exaggerating, but look at yourself. This doesn't look like Earth at all.
Wind and water-carved clay hills of Ah-She-Sle-Pah were formed over the last 75 million years. Mushroom-shaped hoodoos, ancient fossils and arches spread on a 6-mile area. A prominent rock formation among them is the famous Alien Throne, and it surely was something. It was sunset time and everything was looking even prettier now. We set up our base camp here, putting all our stuff at a place, and Kylo took us around to show some more rock formations of the area and helped us get some nice shots of the sunset.
As you can see behind me, it's a beautiful sunset. We got some very pretty shots of the sunset, and now we are heading back to the base camp where we have kept all our bags, tripods, all the stuff, and all the photographers that are with us on this tour are going to set up their tripods and they're going to capture the Milky Way. We are pretty excited to see the night sky because it's going to be a first for us.
The photographers in our group were all set with their tripods, and we couldn't wait to watch them do the night sky photography. It was pitch dark now, we couldn't see anything but the beautiful sky. I wish I had the footage to show you what we witnessed. I was also carrying my small phone tripod and managed to get some decent shots of the Alien Throne. After spending some really good time here, we were now all set to leave. Switched on the flashlights, grabbed all our stuff, and we started our hike back to the parking area. This was an out-of-the-world experience, which we could have never thought of doing had it not been for this guided tour. If you like to travel off the beaten track or adventure in general, a visit to these badlands in New Mexico is definitely a must-do.
Hi. How was the adventure?
Amazing. Out of this world.
Amazing, right? I think we are feeling a bit more confident now, don't you think?
It was pitch dark, which made the hike quite difficult. But we finally made it to our cars and were literally so happy and relieved.
All set to go back now.
It was 11 p.m. already and we had to drive back through the same muddy path, which looked even more scary in the dark. But all thanks to our guide Kylo, who managed everything so well and got us back safely. We were super tired by now, drove to our hotel in a nearby town and slept off.
So it's gonna be our last night here, and today is day 4th in New Mexico. You've already seen what adventure we did yesterday. It was amazing. We were so tired, slept off and just had breakfast. And now it's time for some relaxation. So right now we're heading towards a city called Truth and Consequences, which is famous for its hot springs. We booked a nice hot spa there, and yeah, looking forward to it.
Thanks to geothermal activity in the region, New Mexico is a hotspot for hot springs of all sorts. And one of the famous cities for this is Truth or Consequences. Such a unique name for a city, right? Located in southern New Mexico, this city includes 10 different commercial springs and spas throughout the town. And a pretty famous one among them is the Riverbend Hot Springs. Situated along the banks of the Rio Grande, this resort has several outdoor soaking pools. There was an option of choosing between private and communal pools, and we had booked a private one in advance. Also rented some towels from their gift shop and waited for our session to begin. Soon it was time and we were all set to unwind, soak and relax. With temperatures ranging from 104 to 107 degrees Fahrenheit, these mineral-rich pools offer some spectacular views of both the Rio Grande and the mountains. This was such a relaxing experience. We now changed and left for some lunch. The pizza was amazing, and we now left for the last leg of our trip to a destination that was around a 2-hour drive from here. It was very hot, so we first checked into our hotel in Alamogordo, relaxed for a while, and then left to explore the largest gypsum dune field in the world at the White Sands National Park. We first made a stop at the visitor center to collect some guides and information, and also watched a movie. And then left for the only road in White Sands National Park, the Dunes Drive. And look at that! It looks like the road is snow-covered, but nope, that's just sand. The glistening white sands of New Mexico are wave-like dunes of gypsum sand that have engulfed 275 square miles of desert, creating the world's largest gypsum dune field. There are various trailheads, picnic areas, and sledding spots along the 8-mile Dunes Drive. We took a couple of trails and got some stunning views. Also, how could I miss a photo shoot opportunity in this magnificent location? So quickly changed in the car and took some nice shots. Over the last 12,000 years, rainwater dissolved the gypsum in the surrounding mountains and deposited it in the Tularosa Basin, forming these sand dunes. And White Sands National Park preserves and protects a large portion of the Tularosa Basin. It is located entirely within the White Sands Missile Range and officially became a national park in December 2019. We also took the most popular ranger-guided hike known as the Sunset Stroll. The 45-minute to 1-hour stroll is amazing to learn the geology of the park and the plants and animals that live here. And it's timed to end at the sunset, which surely is one of the best things to see here. It soon turned dark and we headed back to our car. Grabbed some dinner at a nice Mexican restaurant and had a good night's sleep. Drove back to Albuquerque the next morning, enjoying the scenic drive yet again and some unique rest areas. So glad we planned a visit to this state. With its melting pot of cultures, archaeological sites, and stunning landscapes, New Mexico truly offers an authentic taste of the American Southwest. We returned our rental car, took a shuttle to the airport, and finally our flight back to Boston with so many beautiful memories. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you later. Bye!